welcome back to War in the Pacific Admiral's Edition with me, Friedrich, as the Allies against my opponent, TF-1377, as the Japanese. Of course, he doesn't, as a recap, something I haven't shared in a little while, he doesn't have a YouTube channel, but we're posting our point of view, so you'll get to see that at least. And this is unfortunate. 2 torpedoes at a sizable cargo ship, and nothing hits. Now, I really wanted to hit Singora. I'm very concerned that we're unloading troops. No, we're unloading supplies. We're getting low on supply. Well, we have a lot of supplies, but I thought, let's do a supply run and roll the dice. And I don't know how today is going to go. I'm very nervous because I've had such terrible luck here in the Andaman Sea. So I expect to lose some ships, maybe a lot of ships, maybe the CVE I have here. I have P-38's flying cap. I have the aircraft over the aircraft that are on the carrier flying cap. So we're going to try to do the best we can to avoid losing any ships, but I have zero guarantees. I'm just doing the risk. I'm rolling the dice on the risk side, and we'll go from there. Now, I'm watching this because I'm observing how much damage we can do. Maybe force it to surface and sink it, but it looks like we're not getting any good direct hits. So it's just probably not gonna sink today. But what I was gonna say is, if we survive, I will leave no matter how much supply we've unloaded, because then we'll just beeline straight north along the island here and then go back to Rangoon and hopefully avoid further damage. Oh, that was a direct hit. So depending on how today goes, I plan to run away. We're out of ammo. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't see him surviving. 23 hits, not all. I mean, very few of them were direct hits, but with the heavy damage, it's possible we'll sink. Let's listen if we can hear it. No, I didn't hear it sink. And we opted not to fire at an AKL. Okay. I wouldn't mind sinking as many ships as possible, but you do you, Captain or Commander. Alright, we're shooting down Dina. A Dina, at least. These subs just... I just am not finishing them. I'm wondering why we're going first here. There we go. Let's do our best, guys. Show them what we got. Alright, this is going to be a long battle. There's a lot of aircraft. I don't even know for sure if I'm going to get through all these zeros. There's a lot of zeros here. But I'm going to give it a minute because we just don't do a lot of air-to-air stuff. Between he and I, not really needing here so much, so frequently. It's just it's infrequent that we have area combat. All right, and plus it looks like we're pretty much similar quality here. So I'm just gonna skip through because I don't want to sit here forever. Because you can see here, I mean, the minute we've been watching, there hasn't been much in the way of, I mean, he still has a full 16 zeros out of 19. So, yeah, this is going to be, well, let's see. I'm going to skip through. I'm very nervous here. Hopefully we can take out half of his Betty force. Let's go. Hey, we did. So we took out 12 of the 22. Which is what I was hoping for, and hopefully the flak does the rest. And that Battler might... this is making me nervous, man. The anti-aircraft is keeping him from... the anti-aircraft is keeping him from being extremely accurate. Now, here's the thing. He had the last time we saw these Bettys, he had 40. So there's a really good chance he's got another what's the word? Attack run. I was you could tell because I wasn't talking. I was holding my breath just about. So we pretty much wiped out 22 Bettys. Not necessarily. You saw he still had some surviving zeros, and some of his zeros turned back. So I think this was a good defense. We lost. Let's go back up. Sorry. We lost one Wildcat 5. I think that's subject to fog of war. Even though we're the allies, I think we still don't have the full picture here. So one destroyed, I think it's going to be more than that. But like I said, I'm out of there. We were successful in defending our carrier well with that attack run. If he has more coming, it may not be that. It may not be that successful. And I am. nobody's gonna like what I'm about to say. Well, I think we're okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm still gonna escort these LSTs. I don't want to lose all my LSTs. We're gonna escort the LSTs, but we're gonna leave. And then the P-51s have the range to fly out and give some cover, additional cover on top of the P-38s that are coming. Yeah, I think we're gonna get back out. He could bring more Bettys to the area from somewhere else and really, you know, put them in Bangkok or somewhere and give us a headache. But he may not. I think he would have to pull them away from. You'd have to pull them away from, say, like the Marianas or wherever else he has them. I'm still nervous though because he could again, like I said, PTSD here. This is my Bermuda Triangle. I expect another wave of bombing of torpedoes coming my way. The benefit here, looking at this, we survived, and we survived to the PM, and if he comes again, we'll have our fresh cap in the air. See, here we go. And now he only has 10 Bettys, but he has a lot more zeros. So that's a lot of fighters we have to get through to get to those Bettys. So just like we have a fresh cap, he has a fresh escort in that PM segment. So, okay, I'm going to similarly skip this. Let's watch it just a little bit. I want to see these sea fighters and sea hurricanes getting up in the air. Hopefully they get up in the air before we run out of lightnings, because if they don't, then he'll sneak those Bettys through. But our flag was pretty strong the first wave. And he had 10 Bettys left, so if our flag can be just as deadly, maybe we'll survive this. The problem is, one sneaky torpedo, and he's got 10, can really mess us up. And we can get to where we can't get that CVE back, and I'll have to just, you know, it'll be unfortunate, but I may have to leave it here, or scuttle it. That's worst case scenario. Let's just see how this goes. Alright, we're starting to get more fighters up in the sky. I think we're gonna be okay. Let's get to those Bettys, please. Yes, thank you, boys. Oh man, I'm on pins and needles over here. I think, oddly enough, I think I'd be. Oh, well, this is gonna be bad for his Bettys. I think with an American group, I wouldn't be as nervous, because I'm so nervous because we just had some bad dice rolls in this area. Come on, guys, get in the air, get in the combat. I need to see some more fighters in there. Also, these pilots are probably elite. Come on, get up there. These pilots are probably elite, so although he owns this base, there's a really good chance all the crew that bails out here are going to be safe. I'm watching just because of I don't like these zeros here. That implies that, you know, we're not there yet. But now it's 3v3. I think we're going to be okay. Plus, these should start showing up if necessary. So I think that's it. We'll see. But that's another 17 Bettys. But like I said, I'm not going to take a chance. He could bring some Bettys from somewhere else, and I think whatever we unload today, I'll say this. I'll check and see how our supply situation is after this and how much we got unloaded from our LSTs. But I think it's going to be a significant amount, and possibly significant enough that we can leave. Oh, more. Alright, this one I'm just gonna skip. I'm very nervous because, again, get through, have a lucky torpedo hit. But this could be a while too. Let's go. Yep, look at that. 5 Bettys. Come on. Let's flack these guys up. But that's LSTs. They both miss. Oh, both of those waves miss. Alright, yes, we survived. He must have brought more Bettys, because like I said, the last time we did this, I think he only had 40 in the area. Alright, the bombard. There's no need for bombardment there, but it's just part of the game mechanics. I'm sure my opponent is very distraught at losing all those Bettys. But that's the risk you take when you have things set to naval attack, and time after time, you know, your opponent sees the results of that. Okay, we destroyed that little unit that came in there, and we'll slink back into a defensive position just north of in this area here. Um, so this kind of eliminates that incursion. All right, the bombardment here is twofold. One, to check out what he has, and two, to cause him to use burn supplies. And we can see here 643 to 495 defending. But don't forget, this is times 3 terrain. And we 49 vehicle. I don't know how accurate this is because we have a lot more tanks than that. It could be because, okay, that's right. We have one division bombarding. I think that's what it's representing here. It's not it's not the whole hex is only that many vehicles. He has 0 vehicles, but some of these guns could be anti-tank, or these AA guns could be like dual purpose. So I don't know if I want to drive my tanks into that, especially with the extremely rough terrain we're dealing with here. Um, okay, we got some upgrades, especially Banjo is very important there. Um, I'm probably going to show you the devastating results of that action before we jump into December 16. Okay, before yesterday, before we launched this drop off of supplies, we had like just over 3,000 supplies in the hex. We've dropped off 15,000 tons of supplies. I'm bugging out. I just wanted to show you this. I thought it was cool. I am going to say let's cancel unload. We don't have much left. We actually have 10,000 left, but I'm going to cancel unload and we're going to go back and we're going to basically I'm going to it I believe without clicking anything, it will auto leave and we're going to let this go as well. He's following, and this one I'm going to say clear, follow, and we'll also follow this landing craft. All right, then as we should get to about here, but even if we don't get very far, this is 9 away, and I can have the P-51s help fly a cap as we try to get back to Rangoon safely. But yeah, I'm leaving. I'm not gonna play around anymore. Make sure it says unloading stopped. Um, yeah. So that was a successful operation. This will take a long time to burn through. I may even divert my supply transports from here. I'll just go ahead and turn that off now because I may relocate them to Lato or something like that. Pardon me. But in any case, we can rest them and get these and make sure these aircraft don't get overworked, overused. Okay, let's take a look at the cost of this last turn, and it's going to be pretty high for him. We're going to have lost some aircraft as well. We started the battle with 27 and we have 23. So we lost 4 aircraft here, and we lost P-38s. Here they are, 25 and 24. So we, along the way, maybe ops, we lost one P-38. That was well worth it. I'm going to keep them flying cap one more day, as well as the P-51s as we try to slink back to Rangoon. And then we should be able to get back here and in the safety of the the local cap here. Okay, let's look. Oof. So we lost 10 and he lost wow. So 69, 73. So 7-1 losses. Okay. It's been a while since we've had variants like that. 73. This is 63. So it's way off. I'm gonna say he may have lost maybe 10 more zero. I don't know. Anyway, not a big deal. Whatever it is, it's huge. Hopefully a lot of crew as well because these guys were elite. I'm sure they were elite. And but that should be a devastating blow to his pilot pool as well as now the air frame pool. He probably has plenty. The zeros, he probably has plenty. Anyway, this was a successful operation. I'm my morale is boosted because I this area has been my bane for some time. If he had carriers still here or surface vessels, I probably wouldn't have even done this operation. But he pulled them away, and I'm not sure why. All right, we lost 3 Wildcats and a Sea Hurricane. So those should be, we should be able to replenish those when we get back to port. And then, let's see, a couple of recons. See, this is that one P-38. No, it was straight in air-to-air combat. And then you can see the rest here. Uh, yeah, a couple of C-46s. So I know people are wondering why I'm losing so many C-46s, C-47s. I don't know. If other people, if anyone knows the proper ratio to use when you're flying these missions, I have them on 40, 40, 40% are resting. So basically, 60% of my airframes and crew are, well, maybe not crew, but certainly six. So, for example, I have 30 aircraft here ready. 18 of them will fly supplies. That means 12 will rest, as well as and will only use 18 of my 48 crew to fly that. Now, maybe I need to do 50 because that increases the chance that I'll have airframes just parked and not flying. I don't mind trying that. I could do that with all of these, change them to 50, and I might just do that because that would minimize. I mean, that would if that saves more aircraft, these don't carry that much anyway. See, this literally carries 3 tons of supplies, this one aircraft. So the as it flies something in here to, let's say, Kunming, I don't know, to Yung, to Yung, as it flies there, this aircraft, one aircraft alone will bring up the supply value to by 3. So whatever the number is, if it has 500 right now, after this aircraft flies, it will be 503. So it's not like having, say, instead of um, 15, having 18. It's a difference of 9 supply in a day. But if I can save an aircraft or multiple aircraft, that might be worth it. I just don't know. So maybe I'll look into that. I don't have a problem with trying to increase the odds or lower the loss rate of my aircraft. Um, we blew away. a small unit here. I'm not going to try to do any weird maneuvers here. We're just going to basically take these armor and we're going to go right back here to where we can much more easily defend and park across the river from these troops here. We've got our infantry coming at a quick pace of 4 miles per day, which means that we're about 5 days away from having our infantry back here as well. But that will be a formidable blocking force for him to come up this way. Now we can't push into him either. This is ×2 terrain, and if I shock attack over here, I just don't have the numbers to try that. Now I may have the numbers soon to try that here, but what that requires is what ooh, what just happened? He no, that's okay. So that's what I was looking at. These troops are trying to run away or run into this hex, his Japanese troops. And as soon as they leave, I will pull these troops west and we will combine the tanks here and I may try a shock attack across this river. But I'm very it's not going to be an easy decision. We'll be very thoughtful about it first. But anyway, that's that. I don't really want to talk much more than that before we get into the 16th, and then we can maybe do another recap. But hope you enjoyed that part. Let's see you momentarily. And we're back to the 16th of December, 1943. I believe, and just want to make sure the sound isn't too loud. I believe we will be safe in the I don't want to say, there we go. It's the Andaman Sea. I'm second guessing myself now, but I think we're gonna get out okay. He'd have to pull some Bettys from somewhere else, which he could and may do, but we'll just have to see. In the meantime, here is a transport, empty apparently, but you know, transports are important vessels too. And that transport does sink. Because we devastated his air raid over Port Blair, I opted not to do another night bombing and rest my British bombers. They didn't they didn't go the night before anyway. So but it was kind of moot with how devastating we shredded his Bettys. There wasn't any worry there anymore. How are we still at Port Blair? I told them to get out of there. Oh, man. I literally sent, I promise. I told them to leave. That's so frustrating. If we get song, it will not be, I promise you, that was not an error. I literally specifically said, go home. So if anything bad happens, you know, you're welcome to say what you will. I won't tell you can't. But I'm going to be frustrated because that is against my instructions. on top of you. Okay. I see ya. Probably shouldn't have shown where you're coming from. Now, that was slick because he could easily, he could fly back out of there. Like a quick hit and run. So I'm gonna set up a retaliatory bombing raid. We're gonna try to hit that airfield. But yeah, back to that Port Blair situation. Like I said, this is our, I mean, this is our Bermuda Triangle. So of course, if something weird is going to happen, it's going to happen there. Well, he didn't bomb us or torpedo us, but that is extremely frustrating. I literally told my LSTs, stop unloading, go home. Well, we survived the day for what it's worth. I gotta get some anti-aircraft guns over here apparently too because of the threat of his bombing. So I say over here, Java. I should specify that, not just over here. I guess I'll talk about the situation when this wraps up. Okay, so you see this? I haven't touched anything except for opening this screen up here. This task force, I told it to go to Rangoon. There was no funny business here. There's no unloading being done. The waypoints are just to get it, straight north and then across, just because I don't know how far we're gonna get. Um, and that's it, right? That's all I was doing. Now I might go here and waypoint 2, we can go here. See how that does, sure. So I'm gonna do that and I'll set up the P-38s to fly again. because I did turn them off because they had 40 exhaustion. Um, and we'll try it again, but you can see here the it's set up to go. There's no, no remain on station. Sure, there's some supplies here, but I would have unloaded if I knew they weren't going to go. Um, so let's get out of here, guys. I had nothing else set up here. No, not even refuel, nothing. Just go, right? The worst case scenario, here's the thing. I think I'm gonna just tell this guy the same thing. Go home. Nope, go home. Forget this. Here's the thing. Because I don't want to lose everything just because these guys don't want to listen. Followed by TF-159. Who's? Oh, that's this. Um, which he didn't spot. Good. All right. So let's return. Let's return and return. I am going to set this up to actually, what is this one? This is full refuel. I don't want to take any chance. I don't think there's any fuel here for me anyway. So we're going to Rangoon, waypoints. Let's do basically the same. Yeah, that'll work. And the fighters have somewhat repaired. I'm gonna set P-38s to cover the LSTs and P-51s to cover the carriers. Hopefully, the carrier. Hopefully, it doesn't mess up. This one, I am going to. This is fine, I guess. All right. I got a little distracted, but that's because of that right there. It was just like, come on, guys. Um, all right, what's the losses here? Let's look at the damage. 6-6. Uh, he lost something on the ground. What would that be? No, flak. That's what it was. Adina. And you can see here what else he lost. And what did we lose? 3 sky trains. I gotta see where these are and what's going on. Otherwise, uh, you know, just standard situation. We lost a pilot killed yesterday. Any ships reported? Got this 8-point transport. Not worth a lot, but it's one less transport in his fleet. And last month, as we sometimes do. Okay. Supposedly the I-157, we'll believe it when, if it's still sunk in a year. All right. By the way, let's look at this again. Um, okay, that's what it was. This I-157 is worth less, a couple of points less than the K-15. All right, just thought that was interesting. Because I guess the Dutch subs, some of them anyway, are fairly good, decent, have decent range, etc. All right, yeah, there's things I got to do over here, but I have no plans, no agenda. I'll just I just basically let's go over here, and I will show you this. We did recon over it. Look, clear sky. I had my bombers. Whoops, not that one. I had my bombers set to bomb the airfield, but they did not go. And it's a clear sky, so I'm not 100%. Well, maybe because of the thunderstorms here, there may be that might be a challenge as well. But you can see these bases are quite strong, have strong defense. It'll be a tough nut to crack. I think ideally we just cut them off and let them run out of supply. But you can see all of our subs trying to do that very thing. But somehow I believe he's probably getting supplies in there. When you have hindsight and you know the Marianas are important, the Japanese surely did as well. But when you know, you're letting your outer perimeter fall, you're fortifying your inner perimeter like this here to such a strong extent that the Allies in game can't do what they did in real life. I mean, I can if I send enough troops. This right here is definitely doable, but also it doesn't carry a lot of air, and so he knows that, so he knows I'm not gonna focus on that immediately. That said, I still might go for that. I'll take a look at Yap, how strong that is. Bobble Daub is also extremely strong. But here's another one we could take, Peleliu. Um, but we got our eyes set on Mindanao for now. And that's just what it is. Let's see. Okay, so I've talked at length, probably many videos in a row about all the things I'm doing in the very near future. So let's just jump ahead to what our situation is here. Um, the commando battalion snuck into this place and now is turning northeast, and they're going to cut across all the way to this hex here, and in the meantime, these guys got their mission garbled. Now they're in combat mode. But I'm trying to get them on the move here. Then they'll come up and then come into Surabaya. And I think once I get here, I'll just tell it to go to Surabaya, and it'll probably default go here and then over. But you see here, this armored regiment has made it here. I might start sprinting across the terrain and start capturing like some of these bases, like Madian. This guy right here, I would like to put in move mode. You know what? I'm gonna do combat for now. I mean, it's got to unpack anyway. When the cavalry division gets here and starts turning the corner to get into here, we'll have these engineers go in and we should lock this down. And I'll be able to bring I could do whatever I want after that, and he can't chase us out. Um, and look at all this, more to come, lots more. And this isn't even, I mean, we've got a lot of troops coming to this hex. I wish I had a better port here, but this was the best strategically, in my opinion. Let's say, clarify, in my opinion. All right, let's take a look here. He's got 46 bombers and 0 fighters. I have no idea what he's doing here. He doesn't know, it looks like he doesn't even know we have fighters here on the base. I could bring three bomber squadrons here. Because it's a size 4, I'm gonna have to bring twin engine bombers and 3 squadrons I'm gonna bring in. We're gonna bomb Batavia, and I could bring at least one here. This though is size 3, so I wouldn't be able to fly. It would be considered extended range to fly from here. But I have heavies based here, and Batavia is 19 away. It would be extended range, but I'm not averse to flying from Makassar or Medina with heavies and smashing this base also. And I'm going to hit the airfield even if he leaves, even if all these bombers leave or have left, and my recon is giving me faulty information, because I'm more than happy to beat up this base so that it'll be a while before he uses it again. So yeah, that's the situation here, and lots of shipping moving back and forth here, trying to get stuff. We got a triangle of bases that I'm shuffling, and more as well, but mainly I've got a few pieces here and there, just trying to organize and get parts of the um, units where I really want them to be. And if I can briefly talk about the situation here, as a recap, we still have a lot of supplies here. That's fine. We're okay here. And the situation on the ground in Thailand, we're still traveling back to the origin point and should be there in a day back to here to make sure he doesn't do anything sneaky. These infantry units are making pretty good progress. In about 4 days, they'll be here as well. Um, and this division is moving very slowly. So it's 37 miles away, and we're moving at about 3 miles a day. So we're looking at 13 days, we'll finally be here. Um, okay, our base force made it here. Great. The engineers will help, but also the aviation support. So now I can actually bring in some air units, some fighters or something. Now, I'm not in a rush to do that though because of this supply is only at 911. I need supply to be much higher than that. So we'll work on that. Still a work in progress. This road it's going to be a trickle no matter how you look at it. So, all right, I think we're okay here. Um, our P-38s were very tired, and now they're already down to 10. I don't even know how these guys flew. They're okay. That's why, because there was no target. Yeah, that was a flop. I just frustrated at how the game treated my commands. All right, moving on. It is what it is, and we'll see how it plays out as we finish this turn. He may say, "Oh, you're gonna stay there? I'll bomb you," or he may not. But I gotta move out of there. If the LST sink, I told him to move. I told you guys to move. You didn't. You get what you get. Um, and then China is the static situation it's in. I'm not going to really cover anything because of that. I don't see any changes, and I don't really need to give it much attention. I will actually say one thing. So these troops here, here's what I'm going to start doing because this has been frustrating me. These have not been reinforcing or upgrading. So I decided, okay, here's what I'm going to start doing. These units, I'm going to basically pick every so often pick a core, and we're going to take it back to Chungking, and then we're going to upgrade it because right now it's not upgrading when it's out in the field in the front. So we'll just shuffle stuff. So maybe I'll find something that I can pick out and send back. For example, one of these I could already do. I want to use one of these sizable ones. Maybe not that. That's full anyway. Well, hey, wait a minute. This is a cavalry corps. It has a cavalry squad, but that doesn't really upgrade the squads. Here we go. I'll hit upgrade replacements on. Move, strategic move. We'll send it to Tuyun, and then we'll march it up and we'll go from there. I mean, if it upgrades before we get back, then we'll consider that a win. But all right, well, I think we're good, and I guess we'll see you next time, and when we talk about the 17th. Hope you have a good rest of your day, everyone. Take care. See you next time. Bye.